Well, hello and good afternoon. Thank you for joining me again on these weekly Facebook Live messages for Thinking Tuesday. You know that if it's Tuesday at noon, yes, it's Thinking Tuesday. So here we are again, another week for another message that hopefully will elevate your thinking and stretch your minds because this is what we are all about. So, the yellow brick road always takes us back to our thinking because that's where it all begins, in our thinking, because we know that our thinking determines how we behave, our actions. So, on Thinking Tuesday, we focus on our mindset and how it is driving our behavior and what steps can we take or should we take to put us on the right track or to continue on the right track. We believe that your mind is a garden, that your thoughts are the seeds, and that you, yes, you can grow flowers or you can choose to grow weeds. So let's continue today doing a bit of mindset gardening, growing and cultivating those positive thoughts. That's what Thinking Tuesday is all about, and I'm so glad that you're joining me. You will recall a few weeks ago, or for those of you who may not have seen the live message but did visit it on my YouTube channel or the replay on Facebook, you would recall that I shared a message on commitment. Yes, I shared a message on commitment, and I told you that I've been spending a lot of time thinking about commitment. I said that we all make commitments, and that although we fully desire to honor those commitments, sometimes we just don't. And the reason is that we might be aware of our intention to do so, but there may be competing intentions under the surface that we are not aware of. There's so much that goes on outside of our awareness. And this is one of the things that Thinking Tuesday is all about, helping us to become more aware. What we are aware of is only the tip of the iceberg, as I mentioned to you a couple of weeks ago. Much of what drives us and interferes with some of our intention is below the surface. And I use the metaphor of an iceberg, if you remember, in describing our minds. Because what we are aware of is just the tip of the iceberg, and most of what drives us remains under the surface. And as we become more aware, then we have more control of our actions. So we must continue to take that internal journey to go to those hidden places below the surface with the help of a coach or a very good friend, but someone trained to help you to find those hidden places, to have those difficult conversations to find out what thoughts and feelings are getting in the way of your intentions to do what you aspire to do, what you dream of doing, and allowing you to fulfill your commitments to yourself and to others. Because we have sincere desires and we have good intentions, but they not always come true. But as these become clearer, what's below the surface, as they become clearer to us, then the path to fulfilling our commitment become clearer. But we still have some work to do. This is an ongoing thing. Life is about ongoing work, ongoing self-improvement if we want to make the best of our lives. So closely aligned with commitment is accountability. We hear that word all the time, accountability. And I would like to help you to continue to clear the path. Because we find the path, but we have to continue moving forward and clearing the path. We can only fulfill our commitment by being accountable. And accountability is when we fully, not partially, not sometimes, when we fully take ownership of what we intend to do. We can have great intentions, but we have to be intentional and we have to be accountable, and we have to find ways of being accountable. Well, yes, we might seek others to help us on that track, whether it's helping us to stay with the fitness exercises to lose the weight and to get to the goal that we aspire to get to, or saving in our accounts or checking accounts or saving accounts or whatever it is to buy that home, whatever it is. Yes, we might engage others to help us along that track, but ultimately, it is our willingness to take full ownership of what we desire to accomplish that will move us forward and allow us to be successful, to our commitment in keeping our commitment to ourselves or to others. So while the most important part begins in our mindset, or begins with our mindset, how we think, which is always in motion, we might not be aware, but we're always thinking. The next important step is to take action. Because thinking is good. It helps us to become aware of what is triggering us, triggering our feelings, but then we need to take action. Once we've discovered what is getting in the way of moving us forward, we don't just think and become aware, but when you become aware, you cannot but help to move forward or do something. Or sometimes you get afraid. You become afraid because you become aware of something. It's uncomfortable. But action is what moves us forward. So I want to share with you 4 action steps that have to be aligned with your thinking to help you move forward in keeping your commitment. If you want to keep your commitment to your family, to your loved ones, to your friends, your colleagues, to yourself mostly, then there are 4 steps that you need to consider or take. Number 1 is take full ownership of your decisions and your actions. Don't subscribe to that victim mentality. It's very, very easy to go there, and most of us, including myself, have sometimes gone there. You know, it's very easy to blame others, blame someone else for something that you should have done or that you can do, or making excuses, or sometimes settling for less than you are capable of doing, trying to find the easy way out. But remember, you don't know what you're capable of doing until you allow yourself to be stretched, to live in those uncomfortable or those unfamiliar places that challenge your status quo. Yes, we like to stay with what's comfortable for us, but we don't grow in comfortable spaces. We need to be stretched. And I remind you of the law of the rubber band. The rubber band is of no use unless it's stretched, and that's the way we're made as well. So don't be afraid to stretch yourself. Number 2 is no pity parties. No pity party. But who doesn't like a party, right? I love a party, but pity parties are not what we want to be about. They may make you feel good momentarily as you absolve yourself from any responsibility that you may have. But in the end, it only results in non-action, and we're looking for action so that we can fulfill our commitment. Or at times, actions that are not helpful. We might take action that are not helpful because we're engaged in this pity party. But in the end, you remain stagnant. You remain right where you are, no movement, and you still have to face the reality in the long run that no progress has been made. So what's the point? To feel justified momentarily, but you still don't get where you want to go? You may legitimately feel disappointed, and that's a legitimate feeling. Feel disappointed if you must, that things did not turn out exactly the way you wanted them to. But acknowledge those feelings, but it doesn't mean that you have to set up camp there. You don't have to live there. You don't have to dwell there. Manage those feelings and your attitude, because that's going to determine the actions that you will take to hold yourself accountable to fulfill your commitment, because that's the end goal, to fulfill your commitment, to fulfill that dream, to get that job, to go on that long awaited vacation, to improve that relationship, whatever it is. In the end, it's up to you about how you can hold yourself accountable to fulfill that commitment that you say you desire. Deal with what you can control. That's all you can do. And number 3, if you keep doing the same things as you've always done, guess what? You'll always get the same results. So why do it? Even if it's comfortable, right? If you want something that you don't currently have, you must do something that you don't currently do. So you have to act differently. You think differently, you act differently. New action is required for you to move forward, as uncomfortable as that might be. And then 4th, ask yourself, who am I hanging around with? That's a great question that we have to ask ourselves from time to time. Associate yourself with those who practice accountability, not those who invest in pity parties and finger pointing, not those who make excuses for their behavior or their lack of action. Those who are willing to own their actions. Changing friends and associates can be very, very, very difficult because we get used to that, right? But ultimately, you are solely in control of the decisions that you make, not your friends, not your associates. So you want to be aware of who you're associating with, who you're allowing to influence you. So choose wisely. Choose wisely. Take stock of your environment and be willing and courageous to make those changes that will enhance your life, develop your self-confidence, and take action to fulfill those commitments, again, that you made to yourself and to others. There's nothing like feeling really great when you commit to something and are able to follow through with it and see the benefits, see the results of that commitment, how you serve others, how you serve yourself. So those are 4 action steps that I would encourage you to take as you move towards being accountable so that you can achieve what you say you want to achieve by committing to others and committing to yourself. And I hope, as I usually do, that this has added value to you and has given you a clearer vision of how to move forward with more confidence in taking actions that will allow you to grow in accountability and to take ownership of your commitments. I would also encourage you to share this with someone that you feel could benefit from it, as I always do. You can always revisit this message as well as previous messages on my YouTube channel, Thinking Tuesday, Cheryl Burton. And while you're there, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue to offer these messages for your convenience. I also want to invite you to visit my website. My website has all of my programs and services that I offer. And if you have some need and you don't see it on my addressed on my website, reach out to me, because all of my services are customized to the needs of my clients. So don't feel that because it's not there, it's not available, because we all have different needs at different times. Okay, you can also reach out for a complimentary consultation for anything that's on your heart, that's on your mind, that you need help with moving forward. Also, I want to remind you that through my website, you can book me as a speaker for your events, for your organization, for your professional organizations, civic organizations. As usual, it's been a pleasure for me to speak with you again this morning, this afternoon, I should say, on something that will elevate your thinking, stretch your thinking, elevate your minds, because we need to always be aware of what we're thinking, because our thinking drive our feelings, and our feelings drive our actions, and we have to be accountable for our actions ultimately. So I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at noon for another message on Thinking Tuesday. Be well, take care of yourself, give yourself the gift of awareness by allowing yourself to really think into what it is that's driving your emotions, what it is that's driving your actions, and be accountable. Be accountable to yourself. We might have an accountability partner, but ultimately, the accountability lives with us and lies with us. So take care. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at noon for Thinking Tuesday. Take care and bye for now.